See how everybody doing. Let me get everything straight. I'm trying to get everything straight if I can. It's just let me get on live. Depends on where you are. Depends on what's going on. We just coming to you live today. Hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody having a good weekend. I'll set everything up just a second. Get into some quick takes real quick. I turn everything on. Let's see if everything is on. Okay, I'm gonna come back on that. So we'll get everything straight in just a sec. And we should be coming to you live Monday, wherever you are in the world. Good afternoon, good morning. If it's early Tuesday, what's happening? So this one is gonna be like if there's any NFL surprises so far, and if you tell me in the comments below if you see anything that's a surprise, let me know. Surprises so far, and if you tell me in the comments below if you see anything that's a surprise, let me know. I'll tell you off the top of I'll tell you at the top of the dome that the look at Daniel Jones and the Colts is a real surprise. I ain't see he could play like that. He balling, you know. So what's up? What's up? What's up? I don't know who you is, but we is. We live. Anyway, what's up with you? Got something to say? Say something. What's happening? How you doing? 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 Coming to you live. All right, cool. Indonesia. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you very much from Indonesia. Thank you. All right, cool. Indonesia. Thank you. Welcome aboard. Have a good. Hope everybody doing good. I talk about. So just coming to you. Hope everybody having a good day. Had a good weekend. I'm just sending out all my information. So bear with me if you see the thing spin. I'm still very much around. I'm just sending it out to my app so that way if people want to come through, they can come check it out. That I am live today. And so just trying to draw more people to come through. So spreading the word. We talking about football today. This, the day after. There's still 2 games later on. But I got the bulk of it, and we can chop it up or whatever you want to talk about though. But thank you for coming through. Let me get stuff going. Get that thing real quick. Okay, we back now. Everything is all good. I got everything straight. So if y'all come on through, let's come on through. So what's up? Back down. Oh, everything is all good. I got everything straight. So if y'all come on through, let's come on through. So if I'm gonna talk about the football, what I saw, um, back down. Well, everything is all good. I got everything straight. So come on through. Let's come on through. So if I'm gonna talk about I did the videos up. Um, so far, Philadelphia looking pretty good. They haven't really hit all their stride, but they still looking pretty good. Their defense is on point. Um, Philadelphia, Green Bay, and the Rams look like the best things I've seen in the NFC so far. Uh, AFC, Buffalo, and Indy so far. Uh, I don't know what else to say because the AFC is kind of like open book right now. I don't really know. Do I think Kansas City's done? They got to get some offense. I think their defense is all right, but I think their offense is stagnant. They don't have a receiver. They're not able to run. They got to depend on Mahomes to do a lot of carrying, so it's going to be a lot of work there. Um, got to see more with the Chargers. Don't really know. They looked all right, but again, I can't really tell. Denver is a very interesting but flawed team. Um, I can't really go on with the Raiders. Can't say. Uh, Baltimore can score, but again, when they play against a certain caliber team, they got it. Can they step it up? Don't know. Um, thus far, that's what I'm saying so far. Right now, Buffalo and the Colts are like, the Colts. Now, I'll say this: I don't know, but hey, they're in a sorry but division. So if you get hot and you win, shoot, you might be bad enough to beat some of them teams. Can't say. Can't really say. Can't really say. I don't know. You know. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. It's hard to say. You know. So what did I think about? I got asked about different games, so we'll talk about it. What did I think about Seattle and Pittsburgh? Well, I know Aaron Rodgers ain't. Again, he played out his mind the first game, and they barely won that game. Seattle's not that. Sam Darnold is he's so mediocre. It's not even funny. But they were the better team, and I think Pittsburgh's gonna find out they don't really play good defense. They don't really stop the run. Shootout games is nothing. What I think with the Giants Dallas game, that was hilarious. The Cowboys should give up their paycheck. They let Russell Wilson think it was 2015. I mean, he was balling. He ain't looked that good in years. That was embarrassing if you're a Cowboys fan. The Giants beat themselves. The coach should be fired. He should be fired twice. Fired from ever holding a position again. And you got an offensive lineman doing all that stupid stuff, which cost y'all a touchdown open drive, which could have pretty much been the difference in the game. One of my relatives and I was talking and said that if they finished them up in the first half, could have been it. It's true. When I watched the rebroadcast, oh yeah, they tore they behind up. Dallas was so lucky, it's not even funny. And you got to put 40 points just to be. You used to put 40 on them for fun. Now it took all that. That's embarrassing. They missing Michael Parsons more than they want to lead on. That was pretty brutal. So that's what I took from that game. Um, I don't. Arizona don't count. They're not that good. They had to hang on to the chin against Carolina. I mean, no. So, but anyway, Philadelphia, Green Bay, and the Rams are the best teams I've seen in the NFC so far. The AFC is Buffalo, and then it's everybody else right now. We'll see. I think the Colts can be a good wild card team. I can't buy them as a top tier team, but I can see as a wild card team, I give them that. I give them that as a wild card. Hmm. Asking me about the AFC East. The Jets suck. Okay, Aaron Glenn, you should have stayed in Detroit. I'm gonna, Justin Fields. I like Fields all right, but he had an out of bag last week. They got the Bills just look like just pound them in the ground, beat them up, and we beat them up on both sides. And it wasn't even a good game by Josh Allen, but James Cook, like Sam Cook, he was too smooth, too good, too real. Tore they behind up. New England and Miami are battling for what, second, third place. They both suck. I mean, you could take the talent from both teams, and you might have a pretty good team that might get you 8 wins. Not legit though. It's tears to this. It's tears to this. AFC North, if Joe Burrow ain't playing, I don't like the Bengals for the deep run. Cleveland sucks already. They already in the pile for a new quarterback. Pittsburgh gonna be in there joining them. So Baltimore pretty much got the division to themselves if they don't mess it up. That's Browning comes up big for the Bengals, but the Bengals were struggling against Jacksonville. And only because they play in Jacksonville did they win that game. They play a competent football team that knows how to balance stuff. They lose that game yesterday. So, and then like I said, in the West, I got to see what happens with the Chargers. The Raiders, I'm going to look and see what happens. Denver is not that good. They should be 0-2. Bo Nixon played a little bit better yesterday. Should have lost the first game. Tennessee had any heart they to beat that butt. And Sean Payton's got them playing upward, but they don't have that level. It's work. They're still a work in progress. Oh yeah, I got to ask about Kansas City. Well, they don't really have much offense. That's the reality. You know, they're lacking that offense. So that's my thought so far. I know it's kind of cut and dry, but yeah, when you think about what's going on, the Bears, it's gonna be a long season. Caleb Williams, man, it's gonna be a long, long, long season. Long season. You got wrecked up. Detroit put a 50 burger on y'all week 2. Yeah, it's a long season. Minnesota got Atlanta's defense. I'm impressed with their defense. Very impressive. They got at Minnesota. They got at them. They just need Michael Phoenix to do a little bit more, and they need to get some more offensive play calling it. But if they can balance it out, they could be a team that could be a problem in the second half of the season if they catch up. There are a few second tier teams, but I wouldn't say there's a lot of first in the NFL. I'll say that. The Bills are clearly the best in the AFC right now. And then in the NFC you got Philly, Green Bay, maybe the Rams. I think the NFC got better talent overall right now. Teams. But I think if we balance everything out though. So we'll see though. We shall see. Hope everybody's doing all right. Coming to you live today, just on here for a minute. So got some viewers, and so we'll see if people come through. Be here for a little while. What's happening? How you doing? DP, what's up? Coming on, tell me where you coming from. All right. It was good to have somebody coming through. Had a good had a good uh pouring of folks. So I was here the other day. It was Saturday. So I will be here today. I probably won't be back until probably Thursday or Friday at the earliest. So Try to get my 3 live streams in a week. Definitely 2. So a lot to talk about, a lot to be about. So we'll see. Yeah. But anyway, just on here seeing if everybody comes through. So I'll be around here for a little while. Hope the weather's good where you are. Depends on what your conditions like. Back. Take a minute. See if I got some real quick. Hold up. So anyway. Yeah, so that's how I look at it right now. One of the biggest pet peeves I got with what's going on with the NFL right now is just fundamentals right now. With the NFL right now is just fundamentals. Cats dropping balls. A lot of people can kick long range. They just can't make extra points. And just some sloppy play, technical, drop passes, things I see. Uh, let me get my chart out if I can. I'll go over the games and I'll tell you what I meant. So, like when I watched Dallas and the Giants, that was just some bad. The Giants just made mental mistakes, which was dumb. Dallas secondary is garbage. They're getting their butt waxed. A lot of these times I'm watching these games, it's just some bad play. You know, fundamentals. And some people not even playing. Like when I saw Detroit, Chicago, you give a 50 burger, you getting waxed. No, New Orleans, San Francisco was interesting. Mac Jones was out there playing. Old Mac and Cheese Jones. He still sucks though. He's just a feeling though. I think if New Orleans put a little bit more effort, they could be 2-0. But I think they're an Arch Man in sweepstakes. I think quarterback ain't bad, but they just seem like they just a notch off. They're a notch off. They play with a little heart. Alvin Kamara, I feel for him because he's like the last one standing in New Orleans. But so that's kind of what I gotta say about that so far. So far. I'll be here for at least an hour. I'll give it another 40 minutes. See if anybody come through. I'll be, like I said, next couple of days won't be on. So this is like, if you got something you want to say, come on through. Ain't nothing like an early part of the NFL, but the weeks go by quicker than you think. So we shall see. Yep. I like football. I just don't like the politics of football now. That's how I feel about certain things that have been implemented. So we'll just see what we got. Okay, we're just sitting here waiting. See if somebody else comes through. I'd be curious as to what people think of the NFL surprise so far. What we got? What's up? Your timing is perfect. It's just me and you, so if you want to ask me some questions, feel free. How you doing? How you feeling? How was your weekend? And hope you're doing all right. Yeah, Saturday was a madhouse in here. Oh, okay. Sorry to hear about that. I've been through that. I know what that's like. Yeah, I'm here today. I won't be on the next 2 days, but I'll probably be back Thursday and Friday. I'll do my 3 quotas. So definitely probably Thursday, maybe Friday. We'll see. Feel free. Can you hear me okay? So feel free. Okay, let's get those questions going. I'm waiting. This instant. Because media is slow. They pick what they want to pick, you know. And also because in light of what's going on, there's agendas. You do understand that everything with the Charlie Kirk and Epstein and all, there's a lot of stuff to just divert your attention. It's not by accident. They do things to, you know, it's done by accident. It's done on purpose. Done on purpose. As long as you understand that, you ain't never in for no. So everything is done to divert attention. Yeah. Okay, let's get some more going. Come on now. Hmm. Just waiting. We're gonna check action of Brown's headgum after this one. Mental. Mental. And like I told you before, if you don't control nothing, you don't own nothing, you're not in the same situation. The one of the reasons why they never ever uh usually charge people with the H crime is because if they did that, they'd have a whole line, and they don't do that. So that's why when they introduced it, I call cap because there's a lot of stuff that goes down that they don't. You know, it's his is mental, mental. Okay. All right. Anybody want to talk? Let's get into some questions, though. Well, they're saying it because of that, but yet they don't do it when it's the other way around. That's why that's why first of all, when they go after with Black Lives Matter, that's pretty straightforward, but it ain't straightforward in the courts. Okay, so I mean, it's not as straightforward as what it's as straightforward to fit the situation. They want to say that, but they don't want to say it in reverse, though. They don't want to say the ones that happen all the time. I think he definitely cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, though. So that's the thing what the media is trying to do anyway. They trying to find a culprit or a scapegoat, and the you talking about these people. I'm like, well, you mad with look like you, don't look like me. I'm like, I'm just saying. Yeah, it depends on how you look at it. See what this is. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Except the difference with that is that Jeffrey Dahmer's was pretty straightforward, and you know, so they romanticize them. They always have. Yep, it's been very profitable too. Mm-hmm. Sad to say. Okay, that was a good question. That was a good statement. I see. Yeah, they should have never. Either you line them up or you put them in a special. Yeah, no, that's because of the state. They tend to do stuff like that. So reasons of mental insanity. Well, again, right. Just waiting on some questions. That's all. I don't know. We'll never. I don't know. He felt that what he had was more important than a woman's rights. So I don't know. That's my educated guess for him. So that's how I feel about that. Okay, give me a minute. Well, they always claim to be Christians. That's nothing new. So if you know about slavery, think about it. And it's history repeats itself. Let me just say this the short, simple way I know how to you, because I respect your intelligence and everything. I would just tell you to Google and read. You'll see a lot of the same configurations being reused over and over and over again. So he actually was saying the same things a lot of them said. Kid you not. Kid you not. So it's just a continuation of the blueprint of the past. Yeah. Okay, I'm just waiting. Oh, it's Nancy Grace. Black person can't be no bigot. Candace Owens is a sellout, but she ain't no bigot. I told you already. You can't unless you control something. What does Candace Owens control? Nothing. Nancy Grace is media. You know, you gotta control something to have a say over something. And you gotta remember that. I keep trying to tell folks because people act like black folks on equal footing that they can. You ain't on no money, currency. You ain't on no legislation. All that the amendments and everything was predetermined. Now, it was used against you, but it wasn't used for you. Nancy Grace controls a certain medium. So that's not even for discussion. It's not. And Candace Owens is a small fish in a big pan. She's not that deep. She says stuff, but it doesn't really register. Yeah. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. Candace Owens wishes she had it like that. Yeah. And Crawford beat him on technicality. I did a video about it. Y'all know nobody watch my videos no more, right? Because every time I get asked questions, I was like, I don't watch my videos. It's sitting there. I did the video on it yesterday, and I talked about how Crawford matched him and got him. It's on video. No, they won't. Cause see, the thing is that okay. Well, okay, my bad. Well, I do put videos. I did it yesterday, and there are people who watch both. I don't remember if I said who I thought was gonna win or not, but I'll say this: Crawford's a great champion now, regardless. And oh yeah, well, if they win, I probably did hold it against me. So what? Probably did. I thought because of reputation, he may be able to finish it up, but Crawford pleasantly surprised me. He got the better end of him. So it's a done deal now. And I had no money on it. I didn't have no stakes on it. You just asked me. He is now. He is now. You got to understand something. When you go up two weight classes, yeah, that's how big that win was. He went up two whole weight classes. He's been defending his chip. He is now in that particular weight class, not amongst the best of the best, but for that weight class. You know, that's how impressive it was. When you understand the totality of it, he really did put himself there. Again, and I'll be the first to admit, hey, I was wrong. But he put on the clinic, you know. He put on a clinic. And, I think a lot of it in my right now too, because like if I watch boxing now, I'm not expecting a whole lot because I hadn't seen the best. Well, it's one of the best ones I've seen. But see, I seen fights like that before, and the guy didn't always get the decision. I go back 30 plus years ago when Sweet Pea Whitaker did that to Julio Cesar Chavez, and they did not give him decision. So that don't really always mean that you're gonna, I seen a cat straight up whip that butt in that ring and then walk her home with his head down. So, but he got, he had a balance. Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's exactly why. That's another reason because Yeah, times you be watching fights and you think you seeing things. You think something wrong with your eyesight. You know, I think it was free because they didn't really think it was going to be that kind of a fight. They knew it had name props and hype, but they didn't think it was going to be like that, and that's what worked out for them. A lot of stuff. If you read him, you don't have to ask me. A lot. And you ask me a question like on somebody that you hadn't heard of, that's one thing, or you hadn't seen, but his volumes are out there. He dissed Supreme Court justice. He dissed Michelle Obama. He dissed a lot of folks. He said a lot of, half truths. And he flipped on Dr. King. That alone was distasteful. You know, like I said before, too young to be, you know, corrupted like that, I think. But, you know. Oh, well, because it's called streaming. And I'm aware of that. And as a matter of fact, I was renting videos and stuff from Netflix back, 15, 16 years ago. So that's what it is with the streaming. Oh, of course he did. Dana White's like he's the white version of Don King times 100. That's where they make all their money in endorsements. It's a whole different monopoly. Because Canelo going into the fight was the bigger name. No, I was familiar with Crawford. I just didn't think, Oh, I am a boxing fan. What you want to know? I knew who Crawford was. I just didn't think about the Canelo situation. What you want to know? I'm gonna talk about Kansas in just a second. First of all, I grew up watching Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hitman Hurds. Oh, okay, cool, cool. So I watched my way. Kansas City probably ain't got no offense. Defense ain't bad. Mahomes was okay. You can't win chippy games, 50-50 games. Your field goal kicker missed that kick. And, Kelsey, that ball ricocheted. That's the game right there. No. Yeah, well, that's amongst other things. Yeah, he was a community college cat. He didn't even have a degree like them. And the Supreme Court justice too. He tried to diss her, the African American woman that was anointed as Supreme Court justice. He tried and played her. He did. He don't know. Yep. Well, that's called affirmative action. That's a whole nother story. That's privilege, white privilege. Well, again, a lot of people you don't know, you gonna find out about them. But it's the kind of game that whoever wins this game will be what I call they suck. Okay, how about nothing? They suck. I'm gonna tell you why they suck. There's nothing to get excited about. You had to score 40 points to beat the Giants. You made Russell Wilson think it was 2015. I wouldn't even, if I was a Cowboy fan, I put my head under the table. Wouldn't say nothing. You got no defense. You got no secondary. Wait till you play against a real team. Your butt gonna get blew out. Your butt gonna get blew out. Big game for the Chargers. They gotta win this game. Ain't no least one nothing. You lost as far as I'm concerned. That was embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Do you know how pitiful the Giants are? 37 points. They only scored 37 points by themselves. And in a month's time, they suck. No, he ain't play that good. He did enough plays. They wasn't playing good. They ran the ball good. I'll give you that. They ran the ball good. And they got very fortunate they got a bad kicker. Cause old boy can kick that ball. He kicked 100 yards worth of field. Those last two kicks. If they don't have him, they lose. They suck. No, he hasn't. Should have won both those games. Or should have won one and lost one. Yeah, actually, record is right. Should have beat Philly. Should have lost that game yesterday. No, he don't. No, he don't. He was very fortunate yesterday in that game. And they used to run the Giants off the field, so it's nothing to get excited about. You ain't America's team. Nobody care about y'all no more. Y'all suck. I didn't pay what he said about them no mind. He was just talking out his mind talking about Kirk. But Russell Wilson did. There's a difference. And you need to acknowledge Russell Wilson because that's the big story of the game. How bad Dallas's defense was. You realize he had to kick a 64-yard field goal because he was lighting y'all butts up. No, he has not. Can't stand talking to Cowboy fans because they're in delusional world. And if my team wins, I'm not gonna sit there and tell no lies like you lie. Like I'll tell you this: Josh Allen wasn't that good yesterday. James Cook balled out. Jets suck, and we won the game. And Cowboy fans don't impress me at all, especially when you're delusional. This is one reason when I do live streaming, I gotta go against people who be trolling and saying just the most. And like I don't have eyes and watch the game. Great with what? They struggled against a garbage team. No, he's a good quarterback. He ain't great. He's underachieved. And now they're going through 3, 4 different coaches in 3 years, 4 years. That is good. It's not about whether I like him or not. I'm talking about what he produces on the field. And you ought to be ashamed of yourselves because real Cowboy fans ain't excited about what they put out. I know when I deal with real Cowboy fans. Talk to a real Cowboy fan, they looking at Jalen Hurts and it's like, oh, no, y'all trolling. He doesn't look good because they had the battle against a team that they supposed to beat. That's not looking good. They used to put 40 on the Giants for fun. That's not looking good. It's not a good. That's not good. Should have beat Philadelphia. Should have lost that game yesterday. All right. Now I'm gonna say this. You got an easy win next week. I'll give you that. It's not a bite. He didn't look that good on offense. They ran the ball. They were settling for field goals. They were lucky the Giants were stupid and played dumb. That's the only reason why the game was close. The offensive line made all them stupid plays. They should have waxed y'all butt yesterday. And Russell looked a better version of Dak if you want to be technical. Russell looked scary. He ain't gonna play like that again probably for about 3 or 4 weeks. But for one Sunday, he looked like his old self again. And you got an easy win coming up next Sunday. You better beat the Bears. You better beat them. But I'm not impressed with Dallas at all. You don't have to play defense. He has to manipulate the game. What he does is every time he comes on, he has to like try to make a drive to take the lead or something because they can't do nothing. They're not on the same page. The Cowboys are not a good team, so I'm not even tripping on this. You're the third best team in that sorry division by default because it's Philadelphia, Washington, then y'all, then the Giants. That's it. You won't beat us. Not in this. Not in what universe. Shh. Y'all suck. Y'all come play us and see what happens. I'll tell y'all behind up. Y'all suck. I know you smoking something now. Shh. Yeah, because they kicked field goals in that first game against Philly. Had Philly in dropping. He did put some good passes, but the Giants' receivers was cool. But it's just not cohesive. That's all. Just not a cohesive team. You ain't gonna talk nothing. We walk around with a bag over your head because we tear y'all behind up. Ain't nobody worried about no sorry Cowboys. Y'all probably are at best, a a low key second tier team. Y'all not. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's Philly, Green Bay, and the Rams are the best teams in the NFC. Then y'all like in that next bunch. Y'all suck. What's happening? I listened to Falling in Love, but Bellamy Brothers Let Your Love Flow is probably more catchier songs, but Falling in Love is more my jam. Oh, y'all suck. Y'all don't want to hear the truth. They the dumbest team in the NFL. The Giants should have bags over their head and everybody should be fired. The heck you let got Saquon Barkley and then Daniel Jones. Have you that's the big story. Daniel Jones out here looking like making Andrew look like he was nothing. I've been watching the Colts and the Giants suck, man. They are the worst. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Undisciplined team, bad, just doing stupid stuff. Just embarrassing. But hey, that's not my team, so I just go by what I see. The eyeball test. I was laughing. The fact they was waxing Dallas's behind and went to Dallas and was tearing in them, I was like, oh man, y'all suck. Yeah. But hey, if y'all battling for fourth place, whatever. Third place, whatever. I had a good laugh though. Yeah, and they can't catch. What you want? What you want, a cookie? Your receivers can't catch. Y'all have to play come from behind ball. You don't run nobody over. Nobody's afraid of you. So what you want? Shh. I saw Pickens and I saw CeeDee Lamb, and y'all was struggling against the Giants. What if it wasn't for your kicker? Your butt would be 0-2. What you want? Shh. Well, I'm supposed to be impressed with that. Yeah, but how long ago was that though? How long ago was that? When you had two good teeth back in the day? How long ago was that? That won't happen now. You ain't got to worry about that. I ain't mad about nothing because I ain't worried about no sorry Cowboys. I know one thing. I'm in 2025. You stuck in 95. I know that. I know we gonna be in the Super Bowl in February. I know y'all butt gonna be at the remote. Y'all gonna be sitting on y'all butt watching if y'all even make the playoffs. If Dak don't get hurt and y'all don't go for the Arch Manning sweepstakes. I know that. Because y'all don't look that good. Same to y'all. Shoot. Y'all suck for 30 years. Well, how many coaches have y'all had? Yeah, he better than right now. He gets to sit on remote control. He gets to sit down for 3 months. I'm sure you heard the news, right? Sure you heard the news, right? Glass toe ain't coming back. And they're not going to be in no Super Bowl. So his season is over. It could be a 34 game season. The Giants won't win more than 4. They suck. Okay. No jail, nothing. The coach sucks. He's over his head. A meathead don't know what he's doing. You don't lose a top tier. Oh, yeah. 30-10 was luck out. Oh, yeah. That's luck out. 30-10. Oh, yeah. Joe Burrow to me is kind of like the basketball version of Luka Doncic. And sometimes, guys that have talent, but certain things happen. I can't say he ain't no flat out better. He's poised. Can't stay flat out better. Kiss an angel good morning. Love that song. No, because he never quit. He gotten better. Embiid peaked and got comfortable. I can't compare none of them to no Joel Embiid. That's an insult. If you said James Harden, I'd say yeah, okay, I give you that. Joel Embiid had that one MVP season, and I can talk down on you because I got to hear y'all run your mouth about beating an inferior team. See, unlike you, who you ain't used to winning nothing, you could tell you getting excited about beating a team you supposed to smash by you used to beat them 2 years ago by like 20 points. Yeah, we haven't, but we're a contender now, and we got a league MVP. Where's your league MVP at? Hmm? And we at least get to the AFC. We've been to AFC Championship games. We've been knocking on the door. Where y'all been? Hmm? We lost to Kansas City in the AFC Championship game a couple years ago. We lost in the AFC Championship game a year ago. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Y'all at home before y'all at home quickly. Y'all didn't even get to the playoffs last year. You can't lose back to back. And I will say this, all due respect, the house was a better team. I got no problems with that. See, I can be honest about it. In fact, if your owner wasn't so stupid and thick in the head and let Jimmy Johnson do his job, you probably would have won about 4 or 5. Had a good enough team to get that kind of run. So I'm not gonna say nothing delusional. Y'all were a great team. Y'all had a great talent that worked together, great chemistry. But that ship didn't sail. And now you're not even middle of the pack. You just a whack team with stars on your head. Don't you worry though. When you get to play the Bills, you'd be seeing stars, but you won't. Gonna have one this year though. About to get one this year though. He will walk around talk about he can get 499 other guys. You know, it's okay. I love delusional Cowboy fans. Why not? Ain't nobody in the AFC gonna stop us. You need to go hide behind you or put a paper bag over your head. That's what you need to do. Shh. We'll be ready for Philadelphia or Green Bay. Oh, you're gonna get to see it because it's coming. We're the best team in the AFC right now. It's not up for discussion. And we just got to go probably get ready for Philly. You know, I take the dad's ban on that. Detroit don't play no defense, and they beat up on Chicago. That don't count. Detroit then had they run. They had a chance 2 years ago, and they got cute against Frisco and didn't finish them up. I don't think the Lions are going to be a Super Bowl threat. I think they'll be a good deep season run. They won't see us in no Super Bowl though. Now they got talent there. Don't get it twisted. But I think they had their chance 2 years ago. I give you that. Their defense looks good. I like the way they running. I said, if you listen, I said in the NFC, Philly, I think Philly, the Rams, and Green Bay are the 3 best teams I see over there. Oh, they gonna make it happen this year. They about to make it happen this year. Mark my words, it's either gonna be us or Baltimore's coming out the AFC this year. You'll see. Well, the Rams got to figure out how to, ain't nobody talking no good game. I'm talking facts. Shoot, you gonna up here talk about some Dallas and how they look, and they now y'all the ones delusional. Cause let me drop the facts on you since you want actual and factual. Jalen Hurts has got as many Super Bowl appearances as Dak Prescott has won postseason games. Let that sink in, genius. No, not with Mac and Cheese Jones at quarterback. Purdy got hurt. They are winning by the chinny chin. They win in close games, but they beat Seattle, they beat New Orleans. I ain't sold on either one of those two teams. You know, Kyle Shenanigans better figure out something. I gotta give it to Leo. I like that chorus just a little bit more, but I did love that. I did like that Andy Gibb song. I did like the vibe of that groove, but you make me feel like dancing. I gotta give it a slight edge. Plus, Ray Parker Jr. wrote a great song, which he never got no credit for. That's a sad part. It's the least sounding Ray Parker Jr. song he ever came out with. And that's the one time they got jacked his pockets. Crazy. Now, the 49ers, I think that they got to do it when it can. See, stay healthy, consistency. Um, Big impressed that they won 2 road games, but Their test is gonna be when it gets late in the season, and can they keep momentum up, you know? So, I'm not sold on them. Like I said, it's amazing Shanahan still got a job. If only that hit and when he gets against Michigan been the hallmark of his career. He ain't bringing nothing. He bring a dime bag. That's all he gonna bring. They and this I'm telling you, you don't understand. Michael Parsons was shoot. He ain't no factor, and he's been marginal at best. They know they suck on defense. That because you can't let Russell Wilson look like that. That was embarrassing. They get ate up on the line. They getting beat up on the ground. I mean, they look bad. And that's not no hate. That's just a fact. Because I think the Giants are one of the most garbageous teams. I saw 37 points. 37. The Giants? When I watched the Giants against Washington, and it's like if they cross midfield, you wanted to give them a parade. I mean, like, come on. And Russell usually looks like, I mean, he did some good heaves yesterday, but usually he done. Yeah. So I was stunned by that. Because they should have beat y'all too. I'm like, man, the Giants, I didn't even expect it to be even that close. I thought y'all gonna beat them by like 20. Struggling. Mm. Human. Catchy groove. But I do like Come Undone. But human. So but it's still early in the season. I mean, there might be a couple teams. We'll see. But the Colts are my surprise team in the well, if defense wins championships, you ain't gotta worry about nothing. You ain't going in. You ain't gonna be there. You ain't Philadelphia. And you ain't Green Bay. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And those are and the Rams too. The three best teams I ain't seen. And y'all ain't in that argument. Mm-mm. You gotta have things go your way too. So, well, it's called distributing. So if you put something in a community, it's what you see. I ain't impressed with what we did last week. If you watch my videos and you watch what I came in here and said, I wasn't impressed. It's the people that pimp the agenda, and then that's what they purposely put it in the community. It's done on purpose. They don't do that in the burbs. They brought that to the neighborhood on purpose. So they did that on purpose. I never said I was impressed with what we did. We can't stop Derrick Henry to save our lives. Yeah, Charlene asked a great question, but it's always the people that bring it forth. They do that on purpose. Subtle and not so subtle maneuvers. Yeah, I said if we can't stop the run, we're not going to do nothing. So I wasn't impressed by the Bills at all against last week. I wasn't even, I was kind of numb to get, because I said both teams were flawed, which they were. And Baltimore went out and beat Cleveland like they supposed to, you know. So just to understand. Come on, Eileen. See. Yeah, I already said, come on, Eileen. Tarzan Boy was catchy, but I thought, come on, Eileen, and I couldn't even stand it, but I think it was better than two songs. That was a whole different era, though. All right, keep on hitting that like up. Back in the day. Why? Back in the day. Okay, keep on hitting the likes up. Water. That's my most powerful vice because that's the one thing that I gravitate towards more than anything. If you must know. Yep. Yeah, they can. Got to remember something. A lot of people do. I known people that's had a second chance, third chance. Yeah. It's all about how you act and how what you put forth. That's it. People treat you like a criminal, meaning you have to act like one, and you get a second chance. You're blessed because it's like an addiction, and you love it, and you go after it. And that's the only thing that I really do. I don't care about entertainment stuff. Why I'm addicted. That's nothing like that. Time after time, I've been covered. I think Live to Tell better. I like Live to Tell better, but I think time after time, she wrote some great songs back then. Now, Madonna's a better artist overall long term, but for that window, Cindy had some good stuff. In time at the time when Miles Davis covered it and others. And I did like Live to Tell. I like the live vocal track and the feel of it. I would probably rather listen to, but I think the time at the time is a trademark song. Live to Tell is actually underappreciated because like a Virgin and Holiday and like a Prayer, Madonna's got about 3 or 4 songs that they just override. Just like I like This Used to Be My Playground. I like her soundtrack stuff too. So, you know, so that's a good topic too. There's actually categories that Madonna's kind of underappreciated, and I think soundtrack songs is one of them. But that's a good question though. 'Cause, mhm. Good question. All right, keep on with some more questions now. We getting cooking. Would you rather have Dak or Herbert? That's a good question. Um, if Herbert's willing to listen, I would say Herbert because I think he's got more potential. Dak's more poised, but Herbert's got the goods. I can't think because Dak peaked his first 2 years. And before y'all think, I watched him and Ezekiel together. The first two, when Dak had the thought that Romo might come back and get the job, he balled his butt out the first 2 years. And to me, that was his best. His first 2 3 years. Yeah, I like her. I like her soundtrack songs. I think Madonna's slow jam and her soundtrack songs was tight. That's where I think those are gems of hers. Cause Crazy for You, Live to Tell, used to be my playground. She gets it right on them soundtrack cuts. Get into the groove too. It's about 4 soundtrack cuts that I say, yeah. But Herbert's problem is that he gets happy fingers and happy feet. And he got stirred from mistakes, and he becomes his own worst enemy. So he's got the right coach to keep him in the right direction. So we'll see. So, but Herbert's got the right coach. So we're gonna see. We shall see. Yeah, I used to live in Texas. It was nice, nice and hot too. Went back in the day. Knew somebody there. Uh, what you think? If you can answer the question within the sentence, what do you think? Or more than likely is that he got bought and paid for positioning. Now, I did, and I ain't trying to be funny. I'm just saying that answer. That's pretty much like the answer within the question you asked. His tactics, his angles. I mean, you think about it. If you were friending of someone that's a known perv, and they had all that situation, do you think they dangerous? Yes. I'm gonna give it to Wang Chung because that was my cut. So Wang Chung, but I did like the kid though. Trump. I'm gonna tell you why. Because Kirk ain't got no vision, and you see that rhetoric. Not both. Not both. Because Kirk would never win. He'd never win. That don't really work like that. You gotta have some shine to when you're doing that kind of thing. You gotta know how to kind of code it. He ain't coded. He ain't polished enough. Trump would be more. You're going by how he's got. He ain't. He first of all, he never held no real office. Second of all, he's not. He wasn't a threat. Now he's almost like, um, no, you haven't really got a taste of him. Because if you really did, he would. No, he wouldn't. They make them cult figures. Yeah, if you want to talk about some cult house up in this, it can you know Utah or no. See, it looks like it because he's springboard with what Trump's agenda, but he gotta have a personality. You gotta have something that people want, and they tried this already. It doesn't usually flip jump off that way. Look at DeSantis. He's a precursor for that. It don't jump off. Gotta be somebody that has some kind of personality or something. Cat didn't have no personality, but that's not going to win because he gets caught on the agenda. And so far they like cats older and more dignified. He doesn't fit that criteria. So yeah, you can be part of it. That don't mean that you can win. You're grassroots. It's just like what you call it? Um what's his name? East Indian cat. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Did he win? And he was like Kirk, you know. He ain't win. Can't think of his name right now, but you know what I'm talking about. Now they like a more shine. You gotta have some shine to you. Oh, I know working with him, but again, it's a big difference when you're gonna be the leading man. Cats don't. You gotta have a certain kind of shine to you to pull it off. Contrary to what you think or what you say, they don't just select you because you just hateful on the spot. You gotta actually wear a suit and have some shine about it. He was never gonna be in that opportunity. That wasn't gonna be in that was not what the cards were about. Mm, he'd have to have things compartmentalized to be on the equivalent, 'cause, you gotta have a certain expertise. And who's gonna put money behind a cat like that? Vivek, that's it. Yeah, and see, Vivek is a great example of that, and there you go. Oh, I agree with that, but I was just saying he's also a precursor to that. So, yeah. I remember I saw that last summer. I was laughing. She said, "You're not bad because of," I was like, "Wow, well," but hey, yeah, he got his behind handed to him, and he that's what's tap dancing don't pay. Sell out, people call you out. They got no use for you. How it worked didn't work out too good for you. I think I'll be on here for 13 more minutes because I'm gonna be on. Yeah, I got 13 more minutes. That'll give me an even hour and a half. So if y'all still want to talk for another 15 minutes, let's do it. I'm not gonna be back until Thursday after today, so that's why I want to get a good conversation in. So if y'all got want to keep talking, let's keep talking. Oh, I know that was set up though, but I know. Yeah, we ever got the truth by him. He got some stuff too, but again. Okay, so we got 50-50 so far. Okay. Some people surprised, some people not. I don't know what you're looking for with the NFL. It's funny. I think Daniel Jones and the Colts is about that though his start so far is very surprising. I didn't see that coming. Pressed with Green Bay. Didn't know that was gonna be it looks good. Hmm, okay. Okay, let's get some conversation going because I want to make sure that I'm still anybody's around. If I want to talk, let me know. Yeah, he did no different than that Millie Vanilli cat. Remember that Millie Vanilli cat that got that bid for being a fake, same thing. But again, he got on the right side of the people. They don't care how you get in as long as it doesn't, mess up the bag, you're good. Now, as you keep a bag, you're good. He did everything right without being. Hmm. So we got. It's always been that way. It's nothing new. 50 years ago, there was a guy named Richard Nixon. It's nothing new. 51 years ago. Yeah. Nothing new. It's just that we have more with technology to capture it in real time, but it's always been there. No. Nope. Nope. Beyonce don't belong with that list. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Cause I said so. So she not better than R. Kelly, but he still. It was a precursor, and it was just as worse. Um, she's not better than. She's not better than Luther Vandross. They all R&B. What you mean? Don't think him's R&B? R&B is an offshoot of all things that becomes popular music. Aretha Franklin is R&B. What are you talking about? Stevie Wonder is R&B. What are you talking about? Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5 stuff. It's an offshoot of the same thing. That's part of what R&B was considered soul music. It's all the same thing. You've been watching Billboard and them labels who put all the tags and stuff. It's all connected. It's all part of the same family. See, that's how they get you to talk like them and think like them. And they always got 99 different titles. It's all under the same flavor. R&B music, soul music, which is an offshoot for country music, for blues, for bebop, with jazz, hip hop. It's all connected. It's an ingredient for all that. It's a flavor. Mm. And then see, it depends on how far back you go with what the charts and everything was. It was soul charts before it was R&B charts. It's all been connected. And then they put hip hop with it in the last 20 years. The stupidity to lump it. It was soul charts, R&B charts, all connected. Yeah, I did a video about it. And it ain't much to do about nothing. I'm gonna tell you why. Because if they there's a few factors. The NBA doesn't want any scandal. They just got Steve Bond. They got the owner after they got rid of Donald Sterling. And bingo for me with the whispers. Um, they can't afford to have him sell the team. He's worth 10 billion. So that would be a big black mark. Kawhi is considered one of the greatest players ever. That would be a scandal. But I know, they're gonna find a way to try to sweep it underneath the carpet. They can't afford to have a scandal in LA. Now with those two. Mhm. Yeah, I think R. Kelly with the versatility. I like Sam and Dave's bigger hits. If you'd have put Bingo up against Soul Man or Hold On I'm Coming or something like that, I would have said Sam and Dave. But I like Bingo a little bit more. But yeah, R. Kelly, if it wasn't for he would definitely be considered. Of course I do. $28 million? Come on now. Who are we kidding? Shoot. If you lost $28 tomorrow, you're gonna be looking at somebody strange. 28 million? Come on now. Who you think we kidding? You ain't dealing with some 5-year-old. You dealing with grown folks. They know what they tried to do. I ain't mad at it. I just don't want people trying to play me like I'm boo boo the fool, like I'm dumb. I ain't mad at it. Say you try to get a tax deduction, and hey, there shouldn't be no salary caps. No way. They make it hand over fist. They got apps too. Because, thank you. Right. You understand. Think about this for a moment, right? They're going to have the NBA on NBC, ABC, ESPN. And if you happen to have a local app for your favorite team, And they told Adam Silver came on City, if you can't afford it, just watch the lowlights, the highlights. So they make it hand over fist. And if they go to Europe, come on now. What salary cap is a joke. Daz. Because Daz is one of those songs that was a game changer. And I like For Fun a lot, but Daz is like a game changer. I do like Fun though, but Daz was just mm. Okay. Okay. That's fair enough. Okay. Shoot. I would go somewhere else where I'm wanted. Steve Kerr don't know what to do with him. I would go where I'm wanted. But I can't tell him what to do. But I go where I'm wanted though. If I was him, disco. Because it's the offshoot of like if you listen to like a production of Georgia Moroder and the Euro sounds and stuff like that, funk is like used, but it's like it's manipulated behind stuff. It's not really given that. It's not really pushed out. The aesthetic ain't pushed out like that. There's people that play in funk, but they're doing it more on the local or it's like touring. I like disco too, but there was a difference, and I was answering the question. And that disco has more influence on the modern thing because it's more producer driven music. And that's what makes the difference right there. Disco was like the no face producer. Whereas with funk, you knew you were like thinking, who was that? You knew who it was. Disco became like faceless producer music. That's what a lot of hip hop is like. So they found a beat and a groove, you know. I love disco. And it's an offshoot of funk. However, when it's produced, 4 on the 4 beats, where is you know, it's all in the grooves of the rhythm. So funk, you knew who it was distinctively, the groove. Disco made everybody a player. It's kind of like hip hop. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. They shouldn't have won that game last week. They got lucky against Atlanta. He all right, but they're not what I call it. He's not in my top or upper. Don't let 2-0 fool you either. They're not in my upper tier situation. I already told you the 3 best teams in the NFC. Ain't in the next tier. And maybe if someone gets hurt and get lucky, he might catch something. He's not amongst like that. He's a lucky cat. He very lucky. They gave him he got a chance to play for 15 different teams and something landed his way and he's very lucky. Cause he could have so been Johnny Mansville. And I'm gonna tell you, he just having the right system. But Tampa Bay doesn't blow me away though. But give him his props. He gonna get him an NFL pension because he didn't look like he was gonna make it, you know. So he got hooked up. Usually when you play in Cleveland, that's the kiss of disaster. So he was fortunate. All right, let's get some comments on. 'Cause See if anybody's around. All right. Anybody gonna say anything, or is it just gonna be it? Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna wait. I'll give you a minute before I call it, because if I don't see nobody talking, then you know. And it definitely picked up today too, so I'm liking what I'm seeing. So, like I said, I'll definitely be back on Thursday. I still about two. I do like 3 live streams up during the week, so yeah, it depends on what you're in the mood for. But anyway, like I said before, you should write down some questions on the side. You did ask some good questions today. I definitely appreciate what you asked, though. Okay, so it has wrong to say the United States. Um, I don't. I feel for the people that they left behind, especially if the people had it prematurely took from them. I feel for that. Like if you're talking about Charlie Kirk, I feel for the kids and his wife to an extent, but I do for the kids, yes. However, when we talk about what comes along with that, it's going to be hard to kind of digest, psychologically. I don't wish anything negative on nobody. However, I got to keep it 100. You cannot put that kind of energy out, and you got to be very careful the kind of energy you put out. Now that's a great question. There. Let's count them down. Here we go. We got. We can debate. We can say Grunk. We can say Kelsey. We can say Shannon Sharp. We can say you can make a case for Johnny Graham. You can make a case for Tony Gonzalez. No, not Johnny Graham. Tony Gonzalez. Antonio Gates. So yeah, but for me, Kellen Winslow Sr. should get the love. I mean, he was the first guy that in my eyes, in my lifetime, I thought that guy was something else. Yeah, if you put out a negative energy, that's what that means. That means like your spirits. So if you're not putting out a good base and balance, you put out a negative energy, it can definitely have negative connotations. So I like Gates a lot. Ozzie Newsome too. See, there's a couple other cats you can mention. And I would say whatchamacallit for the 49ers. If he had a ring, he would definitely be getting love. He was good. I don't have to say what nothing says. Dicker was good. He was good. Close, but not quite. Uh, they had energy good on a. That doesn't. Well, again, you're asking something completely different there, Charlene. That's a different connotation. They were going to be taken because of what they represented. That was a different connotation. What's happening, Charlie B? How you doing from the ATL? Good to see you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because saying things one way can mean different connotations. But let me address that. Both Dr. King and Malcolm were lumped together. As the quote, the late great Malcolm Jamal Warner, black people are not monolithic. However, they get perceived as monolithic. And so therefore, it gets lumped in as one, and that's what happened. But they ended up kind of actually echoing each other's sentiments, though. In the end, Dr. King was definitely echoing what Malcolm said the last couple of years. And there's a lot of stuff that he talked. They talked about the upliftment, atonement. They just said it in a different way. Yeah, I agree about Jason Witten is close. It's close. But I think whatchamacallit from the 49ers, help me out, the tight end right now. That dude got a strong case. If he had a ring, had they beat Kansas City one time, you can make a case for him. Because I think that he got skills, but without the rings, people are gonna hold that against him. I don't know. I don't really know. See, only time I talk about is about his school that built and all his other things. But I did a video about that. So if you watch my videos on YouTube, I did a video about week 2, and the last part of my video I talked about that. I was very impressed. Um, the draft. Now, if Michael Penix can get some better play calling, and they can play a complete game on both sides, they could be a problem. They could be a problem on the bottom end. But they gotta get the offense in gear. Defense looked good last night. They got it, did McCarthy. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Falcons is like low key put them in a firm mind of you know, kind of what the Packers got. They're young, physical. They're gonna be a problem. I'm telling you, if Atlanta's offense gets cooking, that's a sleeper team. Better hope the offense don't get cooking. So okay. You can go. I don't want no trash on here. And I just spent too much time with some trolls, so I got to go. I was letting this turkey talk, and he went on too much. Yeah, I think Atlanta's got a nice, what I call wild card type of situation. And when they figure it out how to get it on both sides of the ball, that's going to be a tough team. Because I like that defense. Let's go. I'm on here for a few more minutes. I get ready to go in just a little bit. Mm-hmm. You already know. You already know. Keep on hitting the likes up. And the poll is going pretty good right now. It's looking pretty good. I think you can feel over here which. No, I disagree with that because if you don't be honest about how you feel, you're not living right. Can't keep your feelings to yourself when they let their feelings be known. So no, I disagree with that notion. Uh, two things can be true at the same time. I didn't particularly care for care for how Kirk was taken out, but I got to remember what he said to the energy he brought. So all stock because they were a championship team. That and it meant big deal. Boom, boom, boom. And I did like Lorenzo Neal too. That's a different era of football you're talking about right there, though. That's a whole different era. They don't let that physicality go like that no more. Big boy on the line. Hmm. Okay. See, we got things kind of slowed down a little bit, so just you always pay a price for words, one way or the other. But that's why you have to be in your most honest. And if you're not, then you never, you don't want to ever be faking the funk. Never said no one didn't. But let me stop this right here. Why I don't like this where this goes with this narrative, especially when you black, like you can't tell the truth. So let me stop right here with this. And if y'all get upset, I don't care. And I'm gonna tell you why. I got two words for you. OJ Simpson. He died and his family, and he was found not guilty. And you think that they don't hear what the people be saying? There you go. Now come back to me on that. See, see. Because you got people who say he was not guilty. Mega Evers' situation is not the same as this because Mega Evers, that was injustice. That was known injustice. That was known. Known. And they haven't really did nothing with that if you want the honest truth. Just like with Emmett Till. I don't be like, because I was a conversation, he didn't get justice. Fred Hampton didn't get justice. We're talking a whole different tangent here. Whole different tangent. Yeah. So be careful with how you people like they try to. Malcolm X said it best: the oppressor will try to make the victim feel bad for the oppressor. They said it for O.J. Simpson, though. And I'm tell you why I'm going back to O.J. He was friends with Trump once upon a time, and Trump didn't feel O.J. did it, and O.J. was found not guilty. So they did say that public figure, the not the same, but they are. There's a connotation. So just saying. Well, birds of a feather tend to flock together. That's the term we like to say. Yeah, if you speak enough into its existence, you'll definitely bring out the beast. Right. Never said it wasn't a law of physics. However, they pick and choose how they want to. I don't think he was lazy. I think what happened was after he went to the Raiders, you'd fall off though if you went to the Raiders back then. They sucked, and he got treated like sent him to old folks home. Uh, the joint situation in college landed him in Tampa Bay, but obviously he played himself into a great player. He was very much part of the Super Bowl winning team in Tampa. He was a great player. So I don't know how that's lazy. He helped them win a chip. How's that lazy? I like Sapp. I thought he was great. Oh yeah, yeah. Dion gave him a little job, and I'm glad he got a gig. He had a book out. I like Sapp. Certain things, and anybody. It was because of the joint. But if the cat wouldn't have gotten to the kind of places he got if he was a bum. He was no bum. I mean, if somebody, when you earn your keep, he earned his keep. So I got nothing but respect for him. Yeah, and he took his job too. Did you hear that? You know that? They were in the same position and he muscled that job from The Rock. Because The Rock really wasn't cut out as that kind of a football player. He just was big. He wasn't. So it's kind of like a situation because the guy's got size, but yeah, he was compared to Sapp. Rock was big, but he had no way of using his body. Like the old adage of like how guys trap. Yeah, technique. Football is technique. You can have size, but if you don't know what to do with it, and if you don't know how to maneuver your body, you just stand out there just flexing for nothing. And Sapp was a pet bull back then. Well, but Sapp don't mince words. That's one of the reasons why I like Sapp. Sapp didn't mince no words. Yeah, I know. Quite a few of those cats did. And you go in there with size, but you got to have other factors involved. You got to have technique. There's a lot of factors. Yeah, it's a lot more competitive and different things. I think that his mindset just he didn't get the best out of his team as a coach. And again, he's typical of a great player. They don't make great coaches. Their philosophy and their mindset is different. Plus, he used to hit cats with his eyes open, which was spooky. But nah, I'm not surprised though. Yeah, and you gotta understand when you're a coach, you have to. It's like if you're a producer, you're not in there as an artist. Yeah, you can't think like that. That's how you can alienate and lose a good quality. And that's why you gotta know how to pull back. You gotta give constructive criticism, but you also gotta kind of let that kind of float. He didn't get that, and that's what led to the disarray, and it didn't last long. And cats coming along now ain't trying to hear no cat. They go the old school and they say, "You ain't gonna tell me what to do. I'm making such a much paper." Psh, think about it. Because if you were a halfway decent offensive player, well, you wouldn't listen to him. You say, "Look at what you won with." Yeah, you were great on your side of the ball, but you had Jimmy Mack, and you had Willie Gault, but you had Walter Payton, who was great, but you didn't even let Walter Payton score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. So how am I going to listen to you? Think about it, which is true. That's the facts. That's one of the most criminal things that ever happened at Super Bowl. So, but people remember that. Okay, so I got about 5 more minutes. I'll call it about 5 more minutes. That day I will be going. I've been on for almost 2 hours, so and I will leave the video on so people want to watch the rebroadcast and feel free to watch. And again, and if y'all ever want to follow me, find me on Facebook or something. The Charlene will tell you. I'm not hard to find. So if you ever want to do a live, hit me up. Glad to see people hitting the like button. That's important. You hit that like button, hit that poll question. It's all good. John Lennon. Come on now. But the thing about it is because of how. But then the how in the now is actually Bob Marley because of the conspiracies and agencies. But at the time, it was Lennon. It was the bigger deal because he was a Beatle and the way it happened, the cold blooded. But the Marley one has carried more intrigue because he was considered a political threat as an artist. They both were in different ways, though, in all honesty. But the Lennon one, it gets. I think Marley was more beloved, though. But Lennon got a lot of. But it's the way it happened. That's what got more. Because Mark David Chapman, that's still a name that most people remember. And people don't really talk about the Marley CIA thing per se unless they bring it up. So, not a bad little question, though. No. Well, I don't know. I ain't really thought about it. I will, next time I come on, ask me that question again. I'll give you a more definitive answer. I'm getting ready to go in just a couple minutes. Because that's like any novel. What's the big deal with any novel you want to mention? Yeah. It's been a long time since I read it too myself, if you must know. And most people don't even talk about it no more. So I give you credit. More people now will be asking about Harry Potter than they ask about that. But yeah. Hmm. Okay. I think we got a couple minutes. So had a good amount of people coming through. The views have definitely been up lately. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. Glad when I come live and then I'm getting a good amount of poll question. You know, that's good. Okay, so I got a couple more minutes before I go. Appreciate when they come through. Even the trolls, some of them. There was some interesting questions today. We definitely got some good feedback up in here today. And it was definitely cool ass stuff. Well, I mean, that can be done with a lot of different things if you want to be technical about that. I mean, it depends on the setting. Obviously, New York was artsy. So that's kind of par for the course. People tend to be more into that. Romance is a culture and a lifestyle. So, but it's interesting that you mentioned that. I think next time I come on, I'll get into it more detail. I will definitely come full fledged on that. I still say that for me for Thursday. I'll come full fledged with that. I hadn't been asked about something like that in a long time. So you got me good with that, you know. Especially when you're talking about a place in the novel, because that's a lost start. Okay. Like I said, if you read certain books, they tend to have a certain audience. So it's not too surprising. I'm gonna definitely have to get this thing kicking it, kicking it, kicking it, kicking it. All right. I'll make it an even 2 hours worth of live. So if people come back and watch, so even two. Because I got a great view. A lot of views came through today, which was cool. And people hit the poll question, hit the likes. So again, that makes it worth the while. So I think I'll go to full two today. All right. So we got even 2 minutes. Okay. Until. All right. I am going to be working on some videos, some future ones. So appreciate everybody that came through. And again, yeah, thanks for the like everybody came through. And I'll be back on, like I said, I'll come back on Thursday. Um, the video gonna be available, so feel free if you want to comment, hit them likes up. Appreciate the likes. Got a lot of likes today. Appreciate all the people taking the poll question. Always a support. So it's been all good. Yeah, I'll be on Thursday. Be on about probably like kind of around this time. Like, yeah. So if you send me a note on Facebook, I'll let you know what time I'm on Thursday. I'm gonna step out and I'll come back. Got a couple things planned, so appreciate the people taking the poll too. This has been great though. I like it when I see like the poll numbers up and the likes up. It keeps me motivated. And as like I tell everybody, you want if you like me doing more live streams, keep showing up, asking questions, show support to the place. Hey, I can do it. So definitely makes it worth the while. I appreciate you, Charlene, as always. So thank you too. All right. So till next time we catch you, peace, the best. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. We'll catch you one time. I'm out. All right. Peace.